Your tools are going to fail, not because you used them wrong, not because you bought a cheap brand, because the two companies that control everything you plug in or charge up have spent the last 15 years making sure that failure is not a flaw in the business model. It is the business model. And by the time you understand what happened to the brands your father trusted, you will have already paid for it twice. If you walk into a Home Depot or a Lowe's today, you will see what looks like a competitive marketplace. DeWalt, Milwaukee, Craftsman, Ryobi, Makita. You see yellow and red and teal and green, and you assume these are different companies fighting each other for your dollar. That assumption is worth understanding because it is costing American tradesmen thousands of dollars every single year. The truth is that two conglomerates control what every electrician, carpenter, and plumber in this country buys. Stanley Black Decker, headquartered in Connecticut, owns DeWalt, Craftsman, Black & Decker, Bostitch, Porter Cable, Irwin, and Lennox. Techtronic Industries, headquartered in Hong Kong, owns Milwaukee, Ryobi, and licenses the rigid name for cordless tools. Two companies, a dozen brand names, one business strategy. And that strategy is not to build you the best tool. It is to trap you inside a system you can never leave without starting over from scratch. Here is how deep this goes. A journeyman electrician carries Milwaukee M18 batteries. He has 12 of them. He has invested somewhere between $600 and $1,000 just in battery packs alone, before a single tool is counted. Now his apprentice shows up to the job site with a DeWalt 20-volt kit his uncle gave him. The apprentice's batteries will not fit the journeyman's tools. The journeyman's charger will not charge the apprentice's packs, not because the engineering requires it. Both systems run on 18-volt nominal lithium cells. The voltage is identical. The chemistry is identical. The size of the cells is nearly identical. The only thing that makes them incompatible is the shape of the plastic housing around the contacts and a proprietary battery management system that the manufacturers have patented specifically to prevent cross-compatibility. The incompatibility is not an engineering necessity. It is a business decision. And it is one that gets made fresh every time a contractor needs to replace a dead pack. Now, here is what the companies do not want you to calculate. That DeWalt 20-volt 5 amp-hour battery you just paid $149 for at Home Depot contains approximately 90 watt-hours of lithium-ion energy. The raw cell cost for 90 watt-hours of 18650 lithium cells, purchased at the volume DeWalt buys them, is somewhere between $18 and $22. The battery management system circuit board adds another $4 to $8. The plastic housing, the contacts, the fuel gauge LED cluster, call it another $5. That is a total manufactured cost of roughly $30 sitting inside a battery pack that retails for $150. Industry insiders have estimated the markup in the power tool battery channel at 400% or greater. And this is not hidden. A former retail purchasing agent stated publicly that he had never seen a product category where manufacturing to retail price increase was more consistently in the neighborhood of 400%. The tool is the razor. The battery is the blade. Except the razor is also proprietary. But here is where it gets darker, because the battery problem is only the beginning. Stanley Black Decker spent the years between 2017 and 2024 opening factories in the United States under a campaign they called Built in America with Global Components. They opened a 345,000 square foot manufacturing plant in Fort Mill, South Carolina in 2017. They invested $31 million. They made DeWalt cordless power tools there. They put out press releases. They brought politicians in for ribbon cuttings. In 2024, they closed it. 192 jobs. Gone. 7 years after the ribbon cutting. The company had launched a $2 billion cost reduction program targeting global restructuring, and the Fort Mill plant was in the way. They also closed factories in Texas, North Carolina, and Mississippi. And in February 2026, they announced the closure of their last remaining manufacturing plant in New Britain, Connecticut, the city where the company has been headquartered since 1843. 183 years of manufacturing history ended in a press release. The reason given was declining demand for the product made there, single-sided tape measures. The underlying reason was a global restructuring program that has now eliminated over $1 billion in cost, and that program has cut a company that generated $15.8 billion in revenue in 2023. Now consider what happened to Porter Cable. Porter Cable was once the professional tool brand of choice for finished carpenters and woodworkers across North America. They made routers and sanders that professionals built careers around. Black & Decker acquired them in 2004, moved router production to Mexico, and then Stanley Black & Decker absorbed them into a brand they have systematically repositioned as a mid-tier consumer line to avoid cannibalizing DeWalt sales. Professionals who owned Porter Cable equipment in 2005 were buying into a brand with a century of engineering heritage. Professionals who buy Porter Cable today are buying a repackaged consumer tool. The brand name survived. The brand did not. This is the private equity playbook applied to tool manufacturing. Acquire a brand with a professional reputation, harvest that reputation to justify a premium price, quietly downgrade the product to consumer grade, and let the name do the selling while the quality does the leaving. So, what does this mean for the tradesman who needs tools that perform in the field every day? First, stop treating the battery platform decision as reversible. The moment you commit to DeWalt 20-volt or Milwaukee M18, you are signing a long-term contract with a conglomerate. Factor the full cost of that platform into your purchasing decision before you buy the first tool. A kit that looks like a $200 entry point will cost you $1,200 in batteries alone before you have a complete professional setup. Second, understand that the independent tool brands your grandfather bought are gone. Snap-on and Matco still manufacture in the United States and hold to professional tolerances, but they serve a price point most general contractors cannot justify for daily use tools. Makita and Hilti remain genuinely independent companies. They are the only two major power tool manufacturers with no parent company and no subsidiaries, and both have earned reputations for engineering durability over brand harvesting. Third, buy corded where the application allows it. A corded circular saw or corded drill does not have a battery platform. It does not have a BMS that can be updated to throttle performance after 3 years. It runs at full power until the motor fails, and motors in quality tools fail far less often than batteries in budget packs. The cordless revolution was real, and the convenience is real. But the ecosystem that surrounds it was designed by conglomerates, for conglomerates. The era when buying a brand name meant buying into a tradition of engineering quality is over. Stanley Black & Decker closed the Connecticut factory that made that brand for a century and a half. They opened an American plant with a ribbon cutting and closed it 7 years later when it became a line item in a restructuring program. Milwaukee is owned by a Hong Kong holding company whose other properties include Ryobi, a brand sold at Walmart. The battery in your hand costs $20 to make and retails for $150. The brands you see on the shelf are not companies anymore. They are product lines inside portfolios managed by people whose names you will never know and whose decisions you will never be told about. The only question is whether you know this before you spend $1,000 on packs that are obsolete the next time they refresh the platform. Know what you are buying. Know who you are buying it from. And know that the most dangerous tool on any job site is the assumption that the name on the box still means what it used to. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. We cover the industrial systems that shape your work and your wallet every single week.